Welcome, everybody, to an all-new series Joel has developed that I think you guys are going to truly enjoy. We're calling it right now, Shaping the DCU. This will be a series as we go through some of the bigger characters in the DC universe. Now that we have an idea that a lot of these characters may or may not be rebooted or whatever the case may be, we kind of want to shape the DCU as to what we think or would like for them to do. Now, just so you guys know, going forward, we will not be doing any fan castings or any fanfic or anything like that. Just theories. Broad general, right, or theories, just broad general concepts of what we would like or think James Gunn could be doing with some of these characters. Now that we might be getting a new, fresh take on these said characters. So for today, we will be doing Batman. So yes, starting with the Batman. That's the cash cow right there. That's the
first one out the door, and he's now still out the door. So
yes, and we have to keep Batman alive because there is a generation that will try to push him to the side for Iron Man. We can't allow that.
That's true.
We love you. We love you, generation, but we can't let you do shit like that, okay? All right? You can have your TikTok, but you can't take Batman. Sorry. But today's panel is myself, Joel, and Didge. This might be a group you guys see going forward. Might change it up just a little bit. But me and Joel will be the constant for these series. So we're doing Batman today. A Superman one will be coming out soon. Well, right, yeah. When we recast you, Didge, like, don't feel bad.
Oh, don't worry. Once I get my residuals, we're good, you know.
Where you just get the voiceover replacing Didge on this episode. It's AJ.
Didge came in and realized he was getting replaced already. I'm doing you a favor.
So obviously, like I said, today we'll be starting with Batman. A video for Superman will be coming out in the not too distant future. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And we'll be going on and so forth. Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, so on and so forth. So it's not stopping with just the Trinity. We want to see how far we can go with these, but we're going to base it off of how receptive you guys are to a Batman and Superman video. So please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know you guys' thoughts in the comment section. How you would like to shape the DCU. Right. What do you guys want to see? So definitely let us know. But all right. Let's get this thing kicked off. Joel, I'm going to start with you. Mm-hmm. Map out what you would like to see from the Batman in the James Gunn universe.
Well, that's the thing about the James Gunn Batman, DCU Batman, whatever we end up calling it, right? Mm-hmm. We know that it's going to coexist with already existing the Batman series with Matt Reeves, right? That's kind of where it would start. We got to start there because that means you got to play contrarian almost. Not exactly contrarian, but you can't replicate what they're already doing. You don't want to step on their toes. You want to kind of do your own thing. So you got to kind of do things differently, right? Because that's the whole point. Or else, what are you doing? Like, why would you? You're just wasting your own time at this point. If you're going to try to do the same thing, I would be very offended if I was married. Like, why is your characters look just like mine, even though they are the same character? You know, we already know that. At one point, Michael Keaton was going to be the Batman, returning and staying as the old man Batman, and they were going to go Batman Beyond, and that was going to be very interesting. The direction of that Batman, and look, it would have been very different from what they're doing with Matt Reeves Batman. So, which would be the point, right? But we've already heard that won't be the case with this Batman. Batman's going to play a big part, and Matt Reeves Batman will not be the Batman of the DCU. So that just means. Well, because Michael Keaton apparently is not coming back full time anymore. It'll be the one-off. Ben Affleck's not coming back anymore. He hasn't been coming back for a long time, and he'll probably end him from the Flash just like he was supposed to. Anyway, but this new Batman, like I said, for the DCU has to be different. So we already know Matt Reeves Batman's a little younger, or at least he's supposed to be younger. Mm-hmm. Not year one. This is like more like year two. Younger in his year, he's by himself. He's very distant even from Alfred. He's very
late 20s
to himself. Right. It's a dark, grimy, realistic, kind of grounded version of Batman, emo-esque Batman,
Definitely
right?
emo.
Yeah,
100%
he
How
emo.
Batman should
He
be.
don't even take the paint off his eyes like all the others. He just leaves it on. Like it. I appreciate that actually. That's pretty cool. It's definitely gritty, and I like that. But so this Batman, I'm not saying this Batman has to be campy Batman. Please do not confuse that. I'm not trying to get Adam West Batman again, or the Return of Batman and Robin. I'm not trying to do that shit again. But what I do suggest, or what I think we should do, is visually Batman has to look different. And I think he should maybe be a little bit older, but not where they wanted Ben's Batman to be, where he was like 50 or whatever he was, or Keaton where he was 70. Like so, so we're like, let's be a little happy medium, maybe 30, 40. You know what I mean? 35, 40. I mean, and Superman might be mid-20s, 30, right? So like maybe they're around the same age, but not as drastically as it was before. And this Batman has probably been Batman longer than, let's say, Reeves Batman has been. So this Batman might have a Robin already. I mean, maybe you just start there. You're like, all right, so you don't have to explain bringing in Robin, but you already got Robin. You know, and he's been Robin maybe a year or two. Maybe. It's an experienced Robin, too. Not super experienced, or he's about to become Nightwing type shit. But a Robin that's Robin, you know. So if you want to bring up an image on that verge, because I think this Batman has to stick out distinctly in a way that the Reeves Batman doesn't. And the fact that I think we should probably go the route of blue. Like we haven't done a blue Batman, or a dark blue, not like light blue. I'm talking about like navy blue, like a dark navy blue, and maybe the return of the oval, made popular from back in the day.
So this type of Batman.
Yes, that type of Batman. 80s Batman, basically. That wasn't Keaton's Batman, because Keaton's Batman was all black.
Yes.
But this one is like there's more color to it. I'm not saying I want him sticking out like a sore thumb. I'd rather be the blue. The blue look dark enough to be black at night.
You know or something I mean? Like that, where you see that at night. Like that.
I love
that one would be really cool.
That would be cool. See, that's the Jim Lee Batman. I love the way he does his Batman, and it still has the blue color. I think we should try to bring that back at the Adam West color scheme, not the exact color scheme or near the same character. I'm just talking about that look, that Batman animated series look. You know, that just maybe we bring that to live action. It hasn't been done yet.
Honestly, a mix of these two, where it's like you get the color scheme of these, so you have like you can see the popping of the yellow. You got the very much the gray of the suit. But like this looks a lot more menacing. Yeah. Even the bat on the chest, like even if you put the yellow around the bat on that chest.
Go back to the other one, Didge.
Yeah.
For me, what's most important, you see that little small box there where it's just eyes?
Yes.
I want my white eyes. I want them. I want my white eyes. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, and Joel, I'm not taking my turn here, but this Batman for me, in order for it to feel like, again, Robert Pattinson's Batman hit all the things for me, right? But it's still too grounded. I appreciate it, but it's still too grounded. I need the fantastical elements of the eyes are white, the cape is dramatic as fuck, right? And you're fighting clay faces and shit, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, this is what I like. Look how dramatic he looks right there. That's what I need. That's my vibe. For what I need my Batman to be.
He should be a little more dramatic because we want to be less grounded than what Reeves Batman is.
Right.
A little more like obviously he's a little extra. There's extra in his appearance, where he just obviously is like he's a gargoyle, but he's not like a regular dude in gargoyle. Like he's like,
right.
Look how fucking look at his cape going everywhere. Like how you walk around
and
like
even
that?
in both pictures, like this is a lot of cape. I say a lot of cape.
And I think the three of us have talked about this at nauseum. I need those scenes where Gordon is on the rooftop, right? Smoking a cigarette. You just kind of see the glare from his glasses. And then out of the shadow is Batman with the cape fully coming across the chest, draping down, right? Draping down. And you just see the white eyes come out of the shadow, right? Like things like the aesthetics. To me, I know for a lot of people, because we've never had it, aesthetics don't matter for Batman, right? When it comes to live action.
Right.
And that's my problem, is that every interpretation has been a version of grounded. No one has ever tried to step out of being entirely grounded with Batman. A character that is very much like, bitch, look at my cape. Right? So it's like, let's have some fun with this, you know? Like, there is an element of him that is supposed to be, and when I say mystic, I don't mean mystic in the terms of like abilities. Or, yes, maybe that's better. Fantastic. Like, look at that shit, right? Look at that. He don't even need to do that.
What is this part of the cake? Like, what is this part? Like,
that's so extra. Look like it's gonna stab somebody.
That's Batman. But that's why Joel was always saying it's certain of these characters, like what Moon Knight was doing, became like Spawn essentially. To where it's just like Spawn would just be able to do shit with his cape that's just like, is the cape living on its own? Yeah. Like, there's no way you're doing that. Right. So for me, if you want to truly be different, dive into the aesthetics of Batman. And these are the aesthetics we need to see more of.
Absolutely. I think that's the color. I think this will stand out from Pattinson's Batman, right? There's that look alone. Now, I don't need the underwear, but I'm saying
okay, you nailed it. I was just about to ask you, what do you think about that? Because it doesn't bother me, but I've always looked at this look of Batman the same way I used to look at how Superman dressed. Like, it never bothered me. Like, that never bothered me as Superman. It only bothered me once I saw Henry Cavill, and it was just like, oh yeah. Maybe you don't do that anymore. Like, don't do that anymore.
The underwear doesn't work in live action because I think, like, in comic form, animation, all of that, you don't like. I think you can kind of almost put it out of your head that it's underwear until you see it in live action. Like, those are just draws.
Well, to be fair, Didge, if they utilize Batman the way we want them to, there shouldn't be many times you could even see his legs. Like, that cape should be doing its job. Yeah. You know?
Covered up. Just like,
but
like Batman the animated series, he's just always walking around. You don't see his body. He's hiding most of the time.
Yep.
You know?
That's why when he lifts it up and you're like, God damn, you're Jack. You're like, yeah, bitch. Bring it on, right?
And
come on.
I don't need him to be as Jack to say as Ben's Batman, where he was like, he was a gorilla. Fucking. I don't need that.
Go back to the other one, did you? Go back to the other one? I think this is a good balance. This is about what Robert's body looked like, if not for that kind of armor type bat suit. This is the kind of structure.
This is not. Their shoulders are massive.
Yeah, that guy's way. That Batman's way bigger.
Well, I kind of account for that's just how they draw it, but essentially this height.
You're thinking if that was real world,
right. Okay. Robert Pattinson would be about that, right? Obviously, they draw them a lot bigger, right? So not exactly this, but realistically, his version in live action could kind of pull off this look here. But yeah, so like this suit here is what I would want Matt Reeves' Batman to turn into. The one before, where it's bright in all the right places, is what I'd want the DCU's Batman to be. You know what I'm saying?
This is the one definitely that should be going forward because I feel like I don't know if it's just from our age, but when even still, when I think of Batman and I think of Batman's look, this is the look that I'm looking for.
Right.
Really?
Right.
It is a classic look. It is
just when you, no matter what, when I think Batman, I think this. And like I said, I think doing a mixture of, because this just looks menacing. But like I said, having the yellow pop here or having the yellow oval here.
Outlined or the oval. Yeah.
That way
you know it's crazy, Didge? It's like I watched the Batman the other day, right? You remember that scene at the train station where you just hear him walking out, right?
Yeah.
Picture how much better that scene is aesthetically if the cape comes all the way around his body. It's draping down a little bit, and you just see the white eyes peeking out of the shadow as he's walking out, right? And then when he starts the fight, and you know what I also like, Joel? We've never really talked about this, me and you, but I also like when they draw Batman to where the cape kind of comes to the shoulders here. So when he fights, the arms don't go all the way up like this. The cape kind of covers a little bit of the shoulders. I've always liked that look too. aesthetically.
Yeah, you can see it
but for
better
me,
in this
it's
picture.
right,
Yeah,
kind of like
it
that.
comes down.
You know, kind of like that, where it comes
I
down
don't
to the
mind it.
shoulder. So when he fights, he's kind of like this, right? He never has his arms all the way out like that.
Right.
It's like his cape is clipped here, whereas most people theirs like clipped like here. Like
Right,
Yes.
his
right.
is a
That's
true
how
like
it
here.
always should be. It should be right
Yep.
here, not here.
Yep.
Because
when we watched Batman the animated series, didn't he usually go like this and then take
That's
the cape off?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I remember,
it's all
right?
Here. It's
Yeah.
all here in the neck, and that's
This
the
seems
problem.
un-
Like
This
The only
uncomfortable to
Batmans
have a
that-
plate clicked here.
they have it on the neck here are is Keaton's Batman because
Right.
it's what happens is they have to show it's like legally bound. They have to show the logo or some shit. So the logo is right in the middle, and the cape goes around it. So it'll cover him
Right.
completely, but you'll see the logo and it goes straight down. And it's only Keaton's Batman that does that. The first two, at least. Because when you see
Yep.
Batman Forever, you never see it. It's just not the same anymore. And now it's back behind the shoulders. Batman and Robin, the same thing. When you see Batman Begins, he has them, but they're here. You can see the clamps because it's more like handmade. And the same with Dark Knight. They're all here. And then, of course, now Ben Affleck's Batman does close. It does go here, but you never see it. It's like stuck on his shoulders because they're so massive. They won't go around.
Right. I do want to ask you guys this because to me this is very important, and I feel as though we've seen it so many different ways in live action. So I'm going to say how I like the cowl to be, and then I want you guys to tell me how you want your cowl to be. I like the cowl exactly like this photo here, to where he can essentially put a thumb at the nose piece and essentially just lift it off, right? I like that as opposed to Ben's that had to fucking peel the fucking cowl off. I don't like that. I really don't like that at all. No, I thought, wait, who's that man had peel it then?
Keaton.
Was it? Oh, it was
Rip it
Keaton's.
off.
That's
Yeah.
right. It was Keaton's. It was Keaton's. Okay, it was Keaton's.
Yeah, that shit
I
was-
like the kind of leathery,
It would rip.
right, yeah. I like the kind of leathery version of it, to where you can kind of just lift it right off, and then when he needs to, lift it right back on.
I like it
right?
like
I feel like the
cowl.
leathery is the one that you can peel. This looks like it's like
Maybe
hard.
not leather. I'm sorry, maybe not but just the like when you watch Batman animated series, he would always kind of just boom, and then
Yeah.
kind of like
Costume is not
Spider-Man's
supposed to-
mask.
Yeah.
like
But
it
that
just
costume
lifts
is
right off,
supposed to
lifts
be
right back on.
light material. You know what I mean? Like if you see him,
Right.
he'll get cut by a fucking nail.
Like,
Because
it's
That's
always-
true. That's
this
true.
always just looks like it's hard. Like I always just imagine
yeah, because you
that
got to
Well,
keep
to be
the
fair,
ears
live
straight.
action, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true also. But live action just always makes it hard. It seems like.
Yeah, usually do.
But for
you
me, you
put
can
on
go
the
a little
neck and leave the
softer.
neck there. Right.
Yeah,
The
you can
neck
go a
is
little
soft.
softer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's doable.
it's definitely doable. I don't know. I just like you were saying, just because I always picture Batman's. Like I said, just I could zoom in with this. Like the ears
The way you sounded so amazed, like, oh shit, I can zoom in.
you can get some details. Like I always just picture it like it's like a helmet almost, and so I just whatever material, as long as you can still get it that like when he puts this on, it has the helmet look of it. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind. As long as
Yeah,
it
I'm
looks
completely
fine.
with
As
you.
long as I like
I do
it,
agree
but-
though. You shouldn't be able to go like this to get it off. Like
Yes,
you have
that,
to,
that I don't
you
like that.
have
I
to
don't
take
like
it
that.
off as a
It's
single.
kind of like what
unit.
they do in the Flash, where he pulls it up, and you know that's fake, but he pulls it
Right.
up, and you can see it hanging in the back.
Well, wait,
Yeah.
hold on, because I think we're now saying two different things. I'm saying, Didge, I don't want it to come all the way off like one unit. I want it to just kind of essentially peel back to where, like, if he's talking to
Oh.
Selena on a rooftop, right, and they
Yeah.
share a kiss, he can just pull it back down. It's not, I take this
Mm.
whole fucking contraption off and then put the whole fucking thing back on. Because then we'll have the same problem we always had with Curtis from Arrow. Like, when did you find time to braid your hair? In 3 seconds,
Well,
you just
that-
jumped into
that was-
action. Like, if you take the cowl completely off and it's something you got to get back in the position and everything, like, when did you
Fair.
do that in the
That's
10
very
seconds you
different
zip
than
line down?
having to braid your hair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
In a
black
second.
magic, Joel. Don't question that. It's black magic. But also another thing before we move into the wards we would like to see alongside Batman. One thing James Gunn's Batman needs to utilize in ways that no other live action Batman seems to really care about is the utility belt. It used to be very important to Batman if that shit got stolen, someone hindered it at all. like that was like part of him.
That's
right?
part
And
of
it
the
just seems like
fantastical
every
element, too.
every live action just ignores it. And it's like, then why wear it? Like, why are you even wearing it? I don't even remember what Ben's looked like, if I'm being honest.
I was
I
be
don't
honest.
remember that shit at all.
I'd have to look at. I was gonna say.
It looks
I'm
like the
sure
other one.
he
Show the
had
other one. Show the other picture.
Show the other one.
Wow.
I can't zoom in
It
on
looked
this
like that.
one. So
Really? I don't remember that at all, Joe.
I don't remember.
Did he ever put his fingers inside any of the pouches or anything?
Yeah,
You rarely saw him do
no,
that.
didn't he pull the contacts and stuff out of that?
He pulled something out, but it wasn't
Wait,
really.
are you talking about Ben's Batman?
Oh, Ben, I don't know. I
Yeah.
immediately to Pattinson.
No, I can picture
Oh, no,
Pattinson's in
Pattinson's
my head for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
I can picture
saw
that.
him
Yeah.
use- And,
But
Keaton
again-
Batman were-
Ben's I can't remember at all. Yeah, you're
Again, Pattinson's again Matt Reeves, and again I got to remind myself how early on that Batman is supposed to be. But again, you forget small little intricacies of, bitch, my smoke pellets are in my utility belt, right? That's how I disappeared. Like, and I think only Michael Keaton really did that. I think only really Michael Keaton did that, right?
Well, the problem
Smoke
is he didn't have pockets. He had like cylinders. There were
No, but I'm saying he utilized the smoke pellets though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, feels like no one else really wanted to go back to that. It's like, but that's one of the things that bothered me about the Nolan trilogy is that you showcased the whole ninja origin he had, only to never utilize the never be seen aspect of the ninja-isms he was learning, and it's like the smoke pellets would have been perfect.
First movie, he would use stealth a lot more. Second one was less stealthy.
Yes.
In the third one, he went back to that a little bit in the third, and then he even used the smoke pellets against Bane at one point where they went,
Yeah, he did.
and the smoke came out. But it was not effective. It was like, he didn't really hide after that.
And it also looked grounded. Like it didn't look like the typical smoke we know of, like, I threw it at the ground. It's a big smoke cloud.
Right,
I just disappeared, right?
Like, well,
I want to see that.
Smoke at all. That wasn't
Lucius was like, hey, I didn't have the time.
Right.
I only put 15% in there.
Yeah, and Batman also had like shuriken. He didn't really have batarang.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. No live action has done the batarangs justice.
For real, they have. It was never a batarang. It's always like a shuriken.
I will say, I liked Ben's the best so far. I'll say that. I liked his batarang the best. No, not at all. There's no arguments there. I have no arguments to that whatsoever.
It was this big, heavy blade.
And that's what I liked. I liked it.
I didn't even like the shape of that one.
That was so fucking ridiculous.
It was thick, too.
To be fair, I didn't like the shape of his logo.
Oh, his logo was ugly. But that was
the same shape as the batarang, and I didn't like any of it.
It wasn't that wide, but yeah, I know what you mean. The problem was it's supposed to emulate the Dark Knight Returns Batman, which was this big giant bat too. That's why it looked like that. That's why he looked like that, because he wanted to look like Dark Knight Returns Batman, who was a fucking gargoyle.
Right. All right. So Didge, bring up the Batman and Robin. Let's take a look at some Batman and Robin here. Joel, walk us through what you would like to see.
Hold up.
It's okay. Walk us through, Joel, what you would like to see.
How many pictures you guys sent me?
I apologize. Take it off screen, then.
That's Joanne who should be taking it off the screen.
Oh, shit. My bad. Hold on.
We'll get to let him look.
You want this one?
Yeah, that is all right.
That was mine. That was mine.
The only one you sent me was this one then.
That's not the one I sent. I sent
that one. I
one.
Batman and Robin.
I sent you one. Hold on.
I sent you 2 Batman and Robins.
Let me go back through.
I sent Didge a lot of shit though, so let's be fair to Didge.
No, I'm not good. But
I have it now. Hold on. Let me open it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, there was a lot of them.
Right. I sent you a lot. All right. So, Joel, walk us through what you would like to see out of the ward of Batman.
The wards of Batman.
Between these two.
The wards of Oh my God, yo, Joel, did we just create a spin-off series 5 years down the line? The Wards of Batman? Instead of calling it, what did they call the game that just came out?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. Yeah, call him the Wards of Batman.
Man, that would
Right?
definitely be the way he's Bruce Wayne. The Wards?
I'm sorry, do you work for Bruce?
Yeah.
But go ahead, Joel. Walk us through what you'd like to see from Robin.
Robin, I would just like to see one. It's been a long time since we've seen a live action Robin in the movies, right? The closest we got was Robin.
We never have.
Right, and then Titans is the closest thing we got.
I mean, we got
Robin.
we got Batman and Robin. But,
No, we got Titans. That was the closest thing we've ever
Titans
had.
is the last thing I remember. That's
what we're gonna go with. All right.
Batman and Robin doesn't exist. That is the title of the next James Gunn Batman. The sequel to his first Batman movie will properly be called Batman and Robin.
I have
and
fond
then we
memories
can
of that
completely
movie.
delete it. Me too. Leaving the theater, throwing up, thinking I'll never enjoy Batman again.
It was all gravy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. When I was a kid, that's why I have fond memories. When I was a kid, I left out of that like, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, it was great when I was a child, but like now you grow up, you're like, wow, that was bad. But
soon as you get older, you're just like,
But it was nice to see Robin, even though he was an older Robin.
For sure.
You know, it was nice to see Robin for the first time. But I like Titans Robin. Like the costume was really cool. Like I remember seeing the first still of that of his Robin costume. I was like, wow, that looks fantastic. And it was a really nice costume. And I wouldn't mind them emulating that for what we eventually get in live action, because I thought they did a really good job with it. And look, we need it, right? That's Dick Grayson, right? The Robin we're going to start with is Dick Grayson.
Yes.
And why should it be Dick Grayson?
To me, that's the first.
I'm going to go off on the left. I
simple as
assumed
that.
the Batman was going to get Dick Grayson. So I assume
okay, so here, you ready to laugh, Didge? I had Joel dying laughing. I said, if you really want to be different, you tell Matt Reeves, hey, you didn't want to put your Batman in our continuity. So if you want a Robin, you can have his actual son.
No,
you can have Damian Wayne, and we're gonna use all the other Robins for this DCU Batman.
Then you lose all of the Al Ghuls. Like I can't.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. A fantastical element to them, you know.
Sure.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. That's not fun.
That is so fair. But one thing I will not do. No, because Dick Grayson, the elements of Dick Grayson, I don't want to be too grounded. I want him to be parkouring his life away. look at the photo you have up. I want that. I want the bright suit and I want the flips. Right? Yeah. I want him parkouring like Steve Carell in The Office. That's what I want.
For me, that's one character versus an entire base. You're losing like an entire faction.
You know what? Then you know what? I take it back. My apologies. Then you know what that means? That means that this continuity universe of Batman won't get Tim Drake because his ass is going over to Matt Reeves. I'm just saying there's no conceivable way I'm giving Matt Reeves Dick Grayson. There's just no way. There's just no way.
The only reason I gave him Dick Grayson, I was like, at least then you can go the rest of the continuity. You got to move everything
but you're leaving out Nightwing.
I know.
Out of the entire continuity of the DCU. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
And I want to see the Titans, and you can't have it.
Or you pull it crazily.
Wait.
And you
shouldn't, Joel.
You shouldn't.
Or you just pull it crazy and you just go straight Nightwing. You're like, hey, what? He wasn't a Robin
You
before?
could do that. I was okay with that before, but now that we're started fresh.
No, be specific, Joel. We were okay with that, Didge, when Batman was 97 years old.
Yeah.
That's when you go straight to Nightwing.
Look,
because it is a little weird if you're telling me that old and you just started getting young boys to help you fight crime at this old age. Don't be weird, Batman. It's okay. Do it in your.
We gotta make some bad trades here, and maybe you're right.
Yeah, we know we're right. That's the point. The point is
not about only getting no. I'm thinking about the Tim Drake one. Maybe you're
That's
right.
what I'm saying. To me, Tim Drake might have to be the sacrifice here. He might
have to be the sacrifice.
Or whatever Robin that Matt Reeves get is an amalgam, all three of them. Whatever, you know.
Sure, yeah. He's acrobatic thief genius.
Or give him Duke Thomas.
I like that.
There you go. Give him Duke Thomas.
Oh, no. You know who you can give him, Joel, so that you can shut that Matt Reeves universe out of your brain forever? Give him Carrie Kelly. Let Carrie Kelly Carrie Kelly be Robert Pattinson's Robin. Yes. The history has fulfilled itself. Yes. Do it. Do it for the Carrie Kelly fans. All two of us. But anyway, Robin to me is very important. And to me, I kind of feel like the off-brand Robins, like Joel was saying, like a Duke or, jokingly like a Carrie Kelly. To me, I kind of want that to be what Matt Reeves works with, only because you have a photo up there, Didge, and I'm going to bring this down so you can bring it up, of the Bat family together.
Okay.
Right? And I just want to make a point. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and bring that up. Okay, perfect. So for me, this is the end goal in the DCU, right? This should be your end goal. This should be what you look to obtain, right? And then possibly grow from there. Spoiler, all kinds of the ancillary characters. Well, yes, Red Hood. Even though why did they leave Red Hood out? That must have been in the time where he was in the ground. No, because he came back before Tim came.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment there where he was not in good terms with them. So maybe it was that point.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Look at Batman. Bitch, I replace you. And look, we're talking about adding a Batwoman, right? Batwing. And that all fits with this. So when you start taking the named Robins and put it over there, and I can't have it here, it bothers me a little bit.
I wouldn't mind going with Duke Thomas over there at all. I think it could work. Even though Duke Thomas the whole point of it was he was like the leader of. He was never Robin. He was the leader of We Are Robin, which was that group.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's why you can alter that. You can alter that and utilize that with
Robin then.
And you can use that. So for me, it's the importance of getting a Bat family, and that's why we were saying the difference could be one Robin as opposed to an entire Bat family you're growing in the DCU. And look, it's also another really cool way to give whoever the actor is you cast a little bit of a breather, right? Like, for Justice League, hey, I'm doing Justice League shit. I know my kids got Gotham. You know what I'm saying? I know Alfred and the kids got Gotham. So to me, I just need this. I really do. I truly need the growing of this. So I say that to say, Duke Thomas is going over to Matt Reeves. Duke Thomas and Carrie Kelly. They're going to go chill with Matt Reeves. Stop dissing Carrie Kelly.
Not this.
God, you're racist. But okay, so Joel, so essentially you agree with me on starting with Dick Grayson, right?
Yeah, you start with Dick Grayson. That's the first Robin, and I want to see the classic Titans, even if they're not as super young. We can somewhere like late teens Titans. You know what I mean? Yep. I'm fine with that too.
Mm-hmm. Because then at that point, your sequel could just be called Titans, right? The first one could be called Teen Titans.
I mean, they could call it Teen Titans, but like, you really gotta.
Because to me, if they're 16, you're still a teenager.
First,
you know what I'm saying?
Part of teenager.
Right. So I'm like, if you say that the sequel is 2 years after that and you're now 18, I can now say you're Titans. You're not necessarily Teen Titans anymore. You're Titans.
You're still a Teen Titan at 18.
Okay.
I get what you mean.
So the sequel could then still be Teen Titans, and then the third one could just be Titans by that point. There you go. You got all three of them. Boom. You mapped it out. Done. One important thing, Didge, before I go to you for what you'd like to see from your Robin in the DCU. To me, I need the colors. I need those colors to pop. One thing I did not like about Titans is that it seemed like the color was nullified. I need those bright ass colors from my Robin. I need all of it to pop. Every color in that suit to pop.
Everything in Titans seemed like dark and gritty.
Can we be honest? For a universe,
DC, though.
For a universe that came out immediately and told us this universe is not connected to Ben's DCU, right? Tell me that, but then to shape that show to look exactly like the DCEU was probably some of the most frustrating television I've ever watched.
That's why I said like that was pretty much a lot of the DCEU. Everything was dark and gritty.
100%. That's why it was so frustrating when we see a perfect Robin turn Nightwing. That we're like, just pair him with Ben and let's get cooking. Nah, it's not connected. Y'all are fucking up here, dog. Like that would have been perfect. That would have legit been perfect. So for me, as I pass it to you, Didge, I need the green to pop, the yellow to pop, the black to pop, the red to pop. I need all of that shit to pop.
That's fair.
So for me, that's my DCU Robin. I need that visual. I need the aesthetic.
I don't need it to pop as much as Juwan's does, because then he just becomes Decoy from the Tiny Toons, where he's like this obvious giant decoy. Like,
obviously, I mean more so like the Robins we're looking at on the screen, so where you see each color. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean bright that you're going to turn your contrast down. No, but that shit was like dark, the darkest version of red and green.
Yeah, it was a dark red, yes. And it was gold, not like a yellow.
Right. I want legit what we're looking at on screen. But Didge, what do you want to see coming out of your Robin? And who do you want your first Robin to be?
That was the first thing I was going to get into, which is why I was kind of okay with saying, all right, first Robin, it would have sucked. I get it. We all wanted Dick Grayson, but I was like, okay, we have to give something, because I do want that full evolution of the Jason Todd story. And if we're talking, how many years are we talking if we're saying we have to go through all of Dick Grayson, then get to Jason Todd, then go through all of that to get to Red Hood? That's where.
Well, you're saying all of Dick Grayson. Look at it more so like this, right? All we would need is for you to start Robin at 15, 16, right? And then you're slowly progressing the idea of him wanting to be his own man, that then spurns into him doing Teen Titans, to where he's not necessarily working every day with Batman. He's working with the Teen Titans.
But is that like a so like how many movies is he necessarily doing Robin? So that's where I was like, if that's,
you could do two movies. You could do 2 movies.
I don't know if he should start at 6. I mean, he could start at 16. I don't know if we need to see that. Just like I don't need to see the beginnings of Batman. So when we start, he could have been Robin for 2 years already and is 18. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No. When I said 16, Joel, I was going off the idea that he's been Robin for a while. 16 was just my starting point of when we see him.
Well, that's
but it's not an origin.
I don't know. Like I can go with 11-year-old Robin. I know that's how it is, but that's.
I was about to say. I mean, that's as accurate as you can get. Like, that's as accurate as you can get. That's what happens.
Like, look, I can take it in my comics, but in real life,
yeah, in real life, that's wrong.
I mean, 16 is still wrong, but it's.
Yeah, but at that point, everything is consensual, right? Legally.
So fighting crime where you could die, it's like, all right, well, you're legal enough to say yes to it, so we're good. We can move forward.
You can get drafted at this point.
You're probably fighting somebody already. Sorry.
Yeah. My thing is, and you don't have to see that part of it. That's where he starts, and we don't know. Like maybe he starts doing light work. It's nothing really heavy until he's old enough or some shit.
I mean, that makes sense then. The way I was looking at it initially was, if we're looking at how many, my thought was, okay, we're giving each Robin at least 2 or 3 movies. So I'm like, I don't want to get to the 9th or 10th Batman movie till we get the whole Jason Todd story told. I was worried for that.
I get that.
Well, you also could do this, because the way Joel was saying it is, this Batman could start off 33, 34, 35.
That's not my background, is it? No.
No. Sorry, that's me. Sorry.
Music in the background.
That's me. Sorry.
There is music in the room around there, but I'm like.
So if you go with Joel's idea, right, and that's the age that you're looking to start Batman with, you can realistically have a older Robin that has been with the Titans, right?
Right.
He's working alongside the Titans, so he's older. He still works with Bruce, but he's not full-time. So in him not being full-time, then you find...
Now look, I'm fine with that. Let me be clear. If we can figure out a way to get Dick Grayson in there, I'm happy with it.
Well,
I'm not trying to push him away.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
What if it's like the first movie, it's him and Robin? Let's say he's 17 at this point. Let's say he's graduating high school.
Right.
And like the next, he's like, the whole point is that he's not just graduating high school, he's going to college and it might be out of state. So
we're assuming the first so with any of this, we're assuming the first Batman movie is going to already have the Robin.
Yes.
That was the other thing I thought maybe they might not do.
They might not.
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't.
Know.
To me, you should do that because it's different.
I
feel as though we've had too many Batman movies that feel structurally the same, right?
Right.
To where it's either a franchise with no fucking Robin, it's a franchise with a Robin, but again, Batman is 30, Robin is 30. So it's like, it's a weird conundrum, right? So it's like, or Titan, where Batman is very much older and Dick Grayson is very much younger. So it's like never a real true balance of it.
Fair.
Because you know the biggest thing I always try to structure, and maybe I'm wrong in this ideology, so please correct me. I've always viewed Dick Grayson and Bruce to be a brotherhood and the rest of the Robins to be like sons. So that's why it's like I don't need Dick Grayson and Batman to be drastically opposing each other in age, right? I don't need a massive, like, I'm 54, you're 26. Like, I don't need that because then that is like a father and son, and that's what Titans did. Right. I do prefer it more to where they're not far from each other. Well, no, I'm saying the relationship that they cultivated is more of a brotherhood, and the rest of the Robins are more like sons. So I'm saying if you're doing live action, I don't need you to have that large age gap.
I'm pretty sure Dick looks at Bruce as a father. I'm pretty sure he does, even though he knew his father.
I was about to say, what? It kind of worked for the other ones because there was either a lack of a father.
No, they all had their parents. Jason,
yeah, but Jason had a horrible dad, though.
Yeah, he was in jail, and Tim's father was just fine.
Tim's father was just fine. Right, he just looked up to Batman. That was completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that Tim is the anomaly because by the time Tim came around, he was just a fanboy. Dick Grayson was I got adopted, and Jason Todd was I got adopted because dad died, and then the other one was my dad just wasn't around, right? So I'm like, yes, sure, you could say that, Joel, but I definitely do believe once he got older, it was more like a brotherhood that those two had.
I think as he got older, he looked at it more. I looked at him as a father figure. Maybe when he was younger, it's like, you're not that much older than me. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably look at him that way. But this guy eventually, depending on when he adopted him, and as far as we know, it was before he was a teenager. Like, that guy raised you, you know?
Yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So Didge, you're saying you want to draft Dick Grayson, but then trade him. So you're not starting with Dick Grayson. You want a Luka Doncic Dick Grayson. So who are you receiving back to start your Robin universe with?
I guess Jason Todd. I guess I'm just jumping straight to that.
Okay. I'm going to do something similar to Titans then, almost.
Yeah, something
almost. No, because we at least got to see the dying years of him being Robin before he just immediately got replaced.
That was already dead. He just didn't give up the suit until the end. And he realized,
that's true. Yes, that is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true.
Like, I guess, jumping right to that, and even having the references of there being like a Dick Grayson, because like I said, I do think if you keep just the name alive in the universe but come as a Nightwing later, because I don't think even if he's a Robin in the Matt Reeves universe, that doesn't mean that he can't be Nightwing. Because I don't think Matt Reeves universe Batman isn't going that far. I don't think they're not going to all of that.
No.
So I think keeping that alive so that way you can go through the entire Jason Todd storyline and eventually get to Red Hood. Because I think that'll be a good underlying, because that's a multi-year storyline. And I think that's a good underlying storyline that you can always have going through the entire DCU wherever they go. What
if I meet you in the middle? So here's what I mean by that. You remember with I can't remember if you said you watched them all, Did I know Joel did. You remember what the New 52 animated movies did, right? Where he was already Nightwing, and then Damian came into Bruce's life. Bruce, by this point, was just solo dolo, right?
Yeah.
Just him and Alfred. Dick Grayson was doing shit in Bloodhaven, kind of coming back and forth. Then Damian appears, right? And it's still, you have Dick Grayson here whenever you need him. But your legit Robin, that is your focus point right now, is now Damian. So substitute Damian for Jason, to where Dick Grayson is around. He's just not with you 24/7. He's doing other shit, whether it's in Bloodhaven or Titans, and then you bring in Jason Todd. Because what I'm thinking of is when you get to that moment where Jason dies, there's an empty void. I don't want a new Robin to come in at that point. I just want Dick Grayson to come back into the fray, to stay with Bruce. So we then slowly find out Jason is alive, the whole Red Hood thing. And then once that kind of gets sorted out, you can then maybe look at Tim Drake, because now Jason's he's not a Robin anymore. I don't want to, right? He's his own man.
Leave Tim Drake for very much farther into the future.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Didge was saying he wanted this Jason storyline to be elongated.
That's a long storyline.
So that's what I'm saying.
Like, that can be an underlying current threat, and I actually really do like that idea. That was sort of the idea I was getting at with, like I said, you can keep the name of Dick Grayson alive in the universe. Right. Like you said, he shows up every so often, does whatever. But I do think like the focal point, Robin, Jason Todd.
Is Jason Todd, which is fine. That's why I just at least wanted one movie with Dick as Robin. So that's why I said you start out with Dick as Robin, and the next movie he kind of leaves.
Which could actually work too. I always go off of, it seems
you could just say he goes to school in Bloodhaven. I even like the idea of that. Yeah, he goes to college in Bloodhaven.
That's literally over the bridge.
No, I don't think we wanted to send them that far, right?
I'm just saying, just to keep.
He doesn't have to like go across the country or anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just go right over to Bloodhaven, but you're going to college in Bloodhaven. Right. So you're fucking crime over there, going to college over there.
I do want there to be a conflict between the two of them that keeps him away. Like, that was the point.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah, I agree. Because think about it. The idea of him going off to college when the guy that adopted you is literally Gotham. Like, his name could be Gotham, Bruce Gotham, right? It's essentially you could just follow in his footsteps. So I agree with you that him deciding to go to college out of Gotham is in direct result of whatever conflict the two of them have. And that's why he moves on.
It could be the age thing where, like I said, if we're saying 17, 18, ready to go to college, he's like, look, I want to be my own person. I want to, I'm an adult now.
Right.
So you can still play off. He's been Robin for a couple of years. Look, I got this.
That's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I think you get maybe 2 appearances with him as Robin, which is the Batman movie and maybe a Titans movie. And by the end of that Titan movie, he's like, I need a new identity if I'm going to be this.
Yeah. I mean, I just also like the idea of, and this is one thing I definitely want. I want this Bruce to be a hard ass, right? To where he is constantly reminding Dick Grayson, you are my Robin, right? Like, you do what I say. And then it kind of just leads to him going, I don't have to. Like, I just go be my own person. Like, as soon as I graduate, I'm out of here, Bruce. You're on your own. So I want to ask this last thing before we move into villains and a little bit of story before we wrap up Batman. Where do you, and Didge, I'll start with you. Where do you want Barbara Gordon to come in this fray?
Where or when?
Oh,
no. Where? Like, because the reason why I'm specifically asking it like that to Didge is Didge kind of had it mapped out, right? To where Dick Grayson is kind of an ambiance, right? But the focus is Jason Todd. But at some point, Jason Todd gets killed. Do you want to kind of birth Barbara Gordon in that span? So instead of replacing a Robin, it's Barbara? Like, how do you want to utilize Barbara?
That's where I was kind of going with it originally. There was no way I was ever going to have 5 Robins? Never was going to have all 5 of them.
Yeah, I get you.
Never was going to have all. I was thinking sort of the memory of Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and then at some point you're bringing in Damian. Those are the 3 Robins I was going to go with. And then there's a lot of Robins, and it's just, I feel like it's just going to get weird in live action.
What was it? You that was fighting me on sending Tim Drake over to Matt Reeves?
No, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh yeah, it works. I don't care.
Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, good. I'm like, cause wait, that's exactly what you want to do. Okay, good.
No, as soon as you said that, I was like, all right, whatever. But
don't do Tim. Yeah, whatever you want to do with this kid.
He's gonna be the odd man out all the time.
He's definitely the
all
odd
the
man.
time, bro. All the time. But
But
go ahead, Did. I'm sorry.
My thought was initially, like I said, since the Jason Todd storyline was the one that was so long, after his death is sort of where you bring in the Barbara Gordon, because then you can play it a little different of, well, I don't want another Robin because of obviously the memory of Dick Grayson are falling out. Then my second one died.
Right.
I'm kind of off these right now, and that's where you sort of bring in the Barbara Gordon to do. You're sort of the, I guess, quasi Robin, but obviously you don't have that name. You're sort of playing that that sidekick role.
Because
she established herself on her own.
Right.
Yeah,
she doesn't look to be his sidekick.
She's kind of like a free agent.
But like she still plays that like your support. I guess not sidekick, support. I still have that support role now.
That's what he wants from her, but she tends to like I don't
go off on her own.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm sorry. I think you tend to forget who my dad is. Like, I answer to him sometimes, but not you. But that's what I'm saying. That gap that you were talking about is a perfect place for her to kind of come into her own, where it's not all right, you're doing the birth of Barbara Gordon, the origin, and all that. It's more so because I could even see the trailer ending with like something happening and somebody shooting out a grapple, and Bruce is like, "Is that Dick Grayson?" And then he looks, and it's Batgirl.
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Oh, that's dope!" Like Batgirl is coming into the fray. But I think that's the better way to do it, where you kind of introduce these new Robins where there's vacancies. So Damian would come in once Jason Todd gets resolved. He's now Red Hood. He's now his own man. He's not working, hand and foot with Bruce. He's kind of doing his own thing. That's where you end the movie with Talia coming out of the shadows like, here, I can't do this anymore. I mean, it's too much like you. Take him.
At the end of the Jason Todd storyline, obviously when he's all settled in his Red Hood, it almost gives Batman closure too.
Right.
And then
100%.
Here's the fresh wound. Here's your son. Like,
yeah. And you can go into, so now we can head into Joel. I'm going to ask you the same Batgirl question. Don't think I'm skipping you on that. But then you can go into what you were saying, Dij, of whatever movie you are at in that point, right? Can then become your Ra's al Ghul movie.
Yep.
Where the conflict of that movie is Damian's struggle of becoming the heir apparent to Batman or the heir apparent to Ra's al Ghul. And it's kind of a tug of war of Ra's deciding, I've been chasing Batman all these years. Why? I have Damian now. Like, I'll just give it to Damian, right? And then Bruce having to lean into doing the one thing he's always somewhat neglected, and that's actually being a father. So I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'm when I say neglecting, Joe, I mean more so like,
You didn't know.
He's like, I don't really. No. I don't mean he was neglecting Damian. I mean he could be the one thing, because as he was grooming these Robins in Batgirl, he never really wanted.
Yeah, grooming.
Don't use
that word.
Don't use that word.
Training. Sorry. I didn't know that was a bad word to use. Sorry.
It is. Look it up.
Raising, I guess, would be better. You could say that he hasn't wanted to be looked at like a father, right? But now he has to embrace the idea of actually being a father rather than just like a trainer, essentially, to a degree, right? Like, I'm training you how to, save Gotham. I'm not your dad, though. So now you are somebody's dad. So I'm with you there. But Dij, before I pass to Joel, you are leaving me the opening for Batwing, right? I can have Batwing in my world, right?
That's of course.
Perfect,
that's
perfect.
no. That's
you want
no
what?
issue.
Batwing?
I want Batwing. Yeah, I want Batwing.
Yeah, that's no issue.
I want a full Bat family. I thought I was very clear.
I don't need
a full Bat family. I need a full Bat family.
Yeah, any other additions to the Bat family?
Because I'm like, if you're not going to use Batwing, if you're not going to use Batwing in the DCU, why are we arguing Robins to go to the Matt Reeves world? Just fucking use Batwing there, then. Like, if we're not going to use the obscure characters that join the team,
I want all
those
there. Weird characters. You can do whatever you want over there now. Because I got another Batman. I
want the full Bat family to the point where I even want Ace the Bat Hound. That's how much of a full Bat family I want.
But you know, he's not going to be really. He's just going to be a dog.
Well, yeah, Ace the Bat Hound to me. I'm going to be honest with you. Ace shouldn't come until he's a little older. Not much older, just a little older. Like at that point, he only got Ace because one nobody home. Like he's walking around lonely as hell.
He has empty nest syndrome. Sorry.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get a dog. Yeah, I'm gonna get a dog. But Joel, when would you like to see Batgirl into the fray?
When I like it closer to around when Dick was around, because I like the dynamic between the two of them. Okay. They were always together. So it's weird to have them with Jason and not Dick, you know, because it's always been Dick and Dick and Barb. So it's like I still want to keep that connection between the two of them. But
childish, man. I saw that laugh at that.
I saw your laugh, and it made me laugh, and that's why I laughed. That's the only reason why I laughed. I was not even thinking it until you started laughing. No, the way you said the last part of what you said, Joel, is why we were laughing.
I was talking, so I couldn't hear it.
Well, you were alluding to you're just so used to seeing Dick and Barbara, and you were saying "and," but it sounded like "in," so that's where it's kind of just like that's a little funny. But okay, so I'm with you. So do you want to go that she's been active for a while? Not as long as he's been Robin, but a while.
Yeah, I could probably go there. That she's been active too, on the side. You know,
because again, she does not have to work in concert with Batman, but it then becomes, and that's why I said I wanted to see that Batgirl movie and how they structured it, because I want to see how you utilize Barbara Gordon saving the day when Bruce Wayne is literally in Gotham, like fireflies running around burning all of Gotham, and Bruce is just like, I'm gonna stay home today. I wanted to see how they structured that.
He looked at his watch like, man, my stories are coming.
I got somewhere to be. The game is won. I heard there's a Batgirl out there. She got it, you know? So that's why I'm like, I wanted to see where they put Bruce in this whole scenario. But go ahead, Joel. I'm sorry.
Well, see, I'm used to Batgirl kind of showing up randomly, especially like even back when I would watch old Adam West show, like there would be an episode and she'd show up, like even in the intro, I'm like, oh shit, Batgirl's gonna be in this episode. And the same thing in the cartoon. She's not in every episode, but then there's an episode where she just pops up. And you're like, okay, she just comes out of nowhere sometimes. And you're like,
yeah, the Batman, I think, is the most Batgirl we've ever had in animation.
Which one?
The Batman, because it gave her a whole season, essentially. More so where you kind of just dedicated to she's in this, right? Like she's not just here and there. She's in almost every episode. I mean, it was weird because
all of like the last season of the Batman animated series, but she was just in it when she first shows up. You get her origin, and then she would pop up sporadically, right. And then by the end, she was always there. She was definitely a partner.
She's like, I'm a card carrying member at this point.
Yeah, at this point, she had access to the cave and everything, you know. See, I don't know. I like that's a different dynamic. Maybe it's 2 movies that you do that, and maybe when Dick's gone, he gets closer with Barbara, and then that's when he recruits Jason, because he's like, this kid needs a home. Really, he's not trying to bring him. Maybe you start that. You don't want to make him Robin. You just want to.
Right.
You feel bad for him. You want to bring him in as just give him.
I always felt like, even though that's how he did it, was always an underlying of he'd be a good Robin too.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be. That should not be the focus, in my opinion. Like
but I'm with Didge. When he saw him taking the tires off the Batmobile, he was just like, "You're a crafty son of a bitch." I
don't mind him being crafty, and I don't mind him acknowledging that this kid has skills. You know, took one of my tires off. He shouldn't have been able to do
that. Right. No. Right. We're agreeing with you, Joel. We're just saying somewhere in his brain, he was just like, "I do have an opening."
Right.
Like, I'm not looking to jump into it, but
I'm just trying to avoid whatever Titans did.
I agree. I'm with you.
No, that's
Destroy
fair.
that narrative right out
I'm
the
with you.
bat because they fucking hate Batman, in my opinion. And I don't.
I'm completely with you.
I'm
completely with you.
Spell that, I will do.
Yeah, no,
but again,
wrong.
It's a little different because Titans did it right after a death of a Robin. Bruce was just like, all right, back to work, guys. We're saying more so Dick Grayson just left. But so in the back of your head, you just might want to fill that vacancy.
Tim, and that's another thing. Like, why would you even consider that?
Right. That would be more so different. But again, Tim, we could look at Joel just like Barbara, because remember, Tim figured out who Batman was.
That does not
and that's what impressed Bruce.
Should have recruited him afterwards.
No. But what I could see is when you get to Tim, him kind of just forcing his way to help you defeat a villain at the end of the day. And through that long journey of that movie, by the time you get to the end of the movie is where he kind of breaks down and decides to bring him in officially as his Robin. But I'm with you. You don't start the movie with, yeah, my last one died, but you're a perfect replacement. No, I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
Too.
You have to earn it.
You have to earn good writing. That's what you need. Good writing.
I agree. But that's why I sided with Didge on starting Jay Todd, because I think with the one thing that a lot of people, Joel, maybe don't give enough thought to is that being Robin is something Bruce forces you to earn. It's not just like, all right, cool, you're athletic, you maybe could throw a punch, put this suit on, let's go fight crime. No, you earn it, you know? And I think that's where we've kind of been left astray when it comes to recruiting a Robin, is that it has to be earned. It's not just Bruce just looking for any child to get punched in the face by grown men. You know what I'm saying? You earn it. There's trials. So I'm like seeing Jason Todd struggle his way through these trials, knowing how easily Dick Grayson went through them, with great storytelling of what kind of the seeds that grow and the hate Jason develops for Bruce for a while. So I'm like, this is all perfect storytelling, and I'm with Didge now of Dick Grayson exists, but our first like legit from start to finish Robin, Jason Todd. I don't mind that.
I don't agree with that yet. I wouldn't mind it if it happened, but I still want Dick first.
Oh no! I'm saying I'm with you that Dick is around. Like you see that first movie where
but that's
it's
not
with Dick Grayson.
What do you mean? That's the opposite.
Like we said the first movie is that you had a Dick Grayson that graduates and then decides to go.
Is Jason?
No.
Once Jason comes in
as Robin,
right.
Like
that's what I'm saying.
You're seeing
he's not the first Robin.
Robin to the from start to finish. Whereas with Dick Grayson, he was already established as Robin.
I didn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't get an origin story from Dick Grayson, but we get it from Jason. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I didn't understand what you were. All right, cool. That makes sense.
So all right, so let's go over stories / villains. What narrative would you like to see them go with, Joel? For this DCU Batman.
I really don't know. I mean, I brought up different villains that I would like to see, so any that would implement them. Because I want more. I want to go into where we're doing something different than what Matt Reeves does. So you want to be less gritty. You want a character like a Clayface. Like a Man-Bat, like Bane, but with the actual steroids or whatever, the Venom.
Yes. Does he have to be Spanish?
I would like him to be Spanish.
So. Okay, no problem. No. I'm just saying that's something that a lot of people skip over when they do Bane. So I'm just making sure that's important.
Does he have to be
important here?
It's like exactly that. It can be mixed. I don't care, but
he could be Bad Bunny.
No. Not bad.
Hey, I don't have control of that, but please, somebody take control and mute him.
But okay, so you want to let the audience know right off the bat we're going fantastical.
It has to be more fantastic. I don't want to lose like the detective element. If you still want to implement that, I'm fine with that. Mm-hmm. But in this, he's dealing with more supernatural threats, I guess, where it stands out more. Where this Batman can handle superpowered villains is what I'm trying to say.
I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to start with like a Mr. Freeze, just so that way off the bat. You all know off the bat, like all right, this is different. This is fantastic.
Crazy.
Yeah, right. we're not dealing with everything grounded. I want them to go as fantastic as possible.
Mr. Freeze is a balance of both, because remember, his power is the gun. He doesn't shoot out the ice, so he is a balance between fantastical and grounded, because he needs his gun.
But there's no you're not shooting freeze guns in real life, so it's like, all right, we know
So
we're dealing with.
No. But that's what I'm saying. It's a balance between both. Because when you look at Clayface, there's nothing about Clayface that's grounded. That's all fantastical. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Freeze is more so your balance of both worlds coming together.
Well, that's why I think he'll work, because it's fantastic enough, but it is also like, well, you just dove off the deep end, where it's like,
right.
Because then if you start with like a Clayface and it's like things got crazy are immediately in terms of fantastical, well, then it's like, well, what's your like gradually getting more and more fantastic?
All right, so then we could flip to Joel. It could be Bane, Man-Bat, then Clayface.
I don't have an order.
No. I'm just responding to what Didge was saying, because Didge is saying if you start off with like one of the most fantastical in Clayface, then how do you gradually go up from there? Right. So I'm saying you could reverse it. You could start off with Bane, that's a mix. Then Mr. Freeze, then Clayface.
Yeah, I like the idea of using Bane like they wanted to use Deathstroke. You know what I mean? Because Deathstroke, I don't consider him a Batman, but that's why I didn't put him on here.
I had him on mine at first too, and then I was like, maybe not.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I already know what Joel's gonna yell at me and say. That is a Titans villain. I agree that you start off Titans with Slade. I also agree that there should be something that brings Slade Wilson to Gotham, and it brings Nightwing back with him, and we get to see Batman and Nightwing go toe-to-toe with Deathstroke. I just think that that's necessary. I think that's as necessary as the world thinks it's necessary Superman fights Black Adam. No matches ever in fray. That's how important I think Slade fighting Batman is how the world needs Black Adam and Superman. I need that with Batman and Slade. So I could find a happy medium of that. I'm fine with that. So Joel, so would you like to see Man-Bat maybe utilized in a movie where Ra's al Ghul is the big bad, but Man-Bat is used kind of like an early on villain that Batman has to topple? Or do you see Man-Bat?
What are you doing with Ra's? What are you doing with Ra's?
Ra's more so trying to poison Gotham. And in his trying to recreate Gotham, he makes Man-Bat.
No,
not like he physically makes Man-Bat. I mean, he's working with what's the doctor's name that is actually Man-Bat? Yes, he's working with him. Something goes wrong, he turns into Man-Bat. So it's more so like, that's not this Man-Bat thing, but the true villain. Right. But the true villain is Ra's al Ghul. I'm only asking that because I'm like, how do you sell a movie where just Man-Bat is the villain? That's what I was truly asking.
I don't mean Man-Bat as the main villain. If that's it.
Okay.
I don't think he's main. And no disrespect to Man, I don't think he's main villain quality.
No, I don't think that's disrespect at all. He's not.
And he could be an ally because he was in the Justice League Dark recently too. So you could even spin him off there if you want after that fight.
That's true.
One person we haven't talked about yet that you have to have is Poison Ivy.
Yeah, she's on there. Should have a picture.
No, I'm saying we just haven't gotten to her yet.
But we haven't about powers. You're absolutely right.
Right. All right. So, Didge, do you want to go into Poison Ivy?
Yeah. I mean, I think I have the picture up already. I think, yeah.
Whoa. Here we go. Nailed it.
I think you have to, like, the last time we saw her in live action was in a movie that you don't like to really talk about. No. And
why do you keep talking about that movies what I don't understand? That's what I'm trying to get. Why do you like going back to it?
Well, we have to if we're talking Poison Ivy because that's literally the last live action, and I think it's a huge disservice.
No. Gotham had a Poison Ivy. It had two different Poison Ivy.
Live action movie.
So did Batwoman.
Live action movie. I'm sorry.
Batwoman also. Oh, movie. Okay.
Movie.
Okay.
And with that, I just think it's a huge disservice to her character. I think Poison Ivy is probably one of the more interesting characters that Batman goes up against. I mean, a lot of people, they don't call her even when a lot of people, when they look at her, like, is she really a villain? Because you look at what she really wants to do with the world.
Right.
So it's like, I think one, if you're going fantastical, you don't get much more fantastical than her in terms of Batman villains.
Right.
And so it opens up so much more where I don't know if this Batman world, you have to get a Joker, which means you probably are going to get a Harley Quinn, which again opens up even more interesting storylines. So it's like, I think
going to get Harley at some point.
you kind of have to. Which means you kind of have to get a Joker. And so it's like,
no, I only say no because I think
I didn't see your picture, by the way, Joel.
No,
I do think where DC
I did see it.
He said he does have it, Joel.
Okay.
DC as a whole, I think, they've just been trying its hardest to work itself into a narrative to where you could have Harley and it's not connected to Joker. You know what I'm saying? So I could see James Gunn. Again, you're starting with how she starts off. Harley Quinn is somebody that at this point, I don't think needs an origin.
It's just going to be already established. Just there.
Yeah, I don't think you need an origin. Especially if you're not recasting Margot Robbie, I don't think you need an origin.
I'd actually be here for that. I'd actually be really here. We got to, no disrespect to the Joker.
Pull up that picture.
We got a lot of Joker already.
Yeah, we do. We got a lot. Pull up that picture real quick.
Let me see which one it is. None of these have names, so.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That's another good Poison Ivy
nice
picture.
That's from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, let me figure out which one it is.
The one I have has two options, or both options. You can use both. I think you should.
Yeah, because yours had. I forgot the other character's name.
Punchline, I think her name is.
I just really think when you hear James Gunn and Margot Robbie talk about Harley, it's the idea of her not needing.
James Gunn has spoken.
Again?
Yes.
I have the
about what? Because we were talking about the Wonder Woman stuff before.
Yeah, that stuff.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
We were
talking about it before you came on. Yeah.
I have the Joker punchline and Harley one up.
That's the one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
See, so you have both options there. You could go. You could start with her, like you said, because it's not gonna be Batman from the beginning, right? So you could say that the events with him and Harley happened and they're over. If you want to skip it altogether, it's fine. Whatever.
I got the perfect idea for you guys. Perfect idea. And Joel, we talked about this years ago when we were kind of a little bothered that it seemed like they were forcing these two to be separate and we've never really got them together. You could have it. You could have it to where it's a Harley Quinn solo movie, right? It's a Harley Quinn solo movie, and it's about she hears the news of Joker with a new lady on his arm, right? And throughout that movie is Harley not necessarily caring about Joker or being jealous. She's more so trying to help this new woman to not go down the same path she did. And throughout the movie, you get flashbacks of all the times Joker, of all the adventures of Joker and Harley, where you could do the dropping her in the vat of acid. You could do the tricking her to get him out of Arkham. You could do all that, but the movie is not about jealousy, because what you don't want is to go pitting women against each other, right? You want to make it more so as like, I'm trying to save you from yourself.
You don't want that to be about her being jealous.
No. That's what I'm saying. You don't want her to be jealous. You want it to be more structured to where I'm trying to save you from yourself, so you don't go right. So you don't do all the things I did, right?
Which it makes sense because Punchline is definitely the more sadistic of the two.
Oh yeah,
100%. 100%. Which is saying a lot. Which is saying a lot.
It is.
We needed to go there though.
Especially, I think it works especially because I know Margot Robbie, she's been on record multiple times talking about how she wants the Harley Quinn Poison Ivy relationship to be in the movie. So it's like you are showing that she's moved on.
Right. She's in a different headspace. She's in a headspace to where she's not a hero, she's not a villain. She's very much just in between of whatever her best interests are at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So she's not fully, let me save these kids from a burning building. She's more so, I live in this building. So I'm trying my best to put the fire out, so I got a place to stay.
These kids are burning in my therapist's office. Wait, let me take care of that.
Right, let me get them out of here. So I like that idea, and you can call it an actual Harley Quinn solo movie. not a Birds of Prey backdoor, not a Sirens back. It's just a Harley Quinn movie. You know what I'm saying? Into which you're kind of doing female empowerment.
Do you still have the Joker in it, or is it just like sort of where?
No. Joker is in it. No. Okay. Joker is a big plot device of this movie. It's just the idea of Joker only got her to make Harley jealous, but Harley doesn't care anymore. She's over it, right? And it's all about just trying to stop the next generation from doing exactly what she does. That's the focus of Harley. You know, that's it. But Joker has to be in it because I want to see Harley fight both of them. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. And what were we talking about when it comes to Fantastical? I want the big mallet or mace, whatever the hell you call that thing. Mallet. I want it. I want it, and I want shit to pop out of it. Like, I want you to go wild with Harley Quinn, unlike anything we've seen before. Because I want this universe, James. Right, yes, I'm with you. I want that. Right, I want that. But I want James to structure this universe to where it is visually drastically different than the versions of these characters we just got.
It's James Gunn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen some of the costumes they use in Suicide Squad?
100%. 100%.
You know what he 100%. Also has been on record saying?
What?
He doesn't like armored suits. Like the...
I love that. we talked about that all the time, Joel. We don't like it either, really. So, God bless. But look, and then, guys, to tie it in, if James Gunn wanted to do a sequel to his Suicide Squad, the events of this Harley Quinn movie leads to her being locked up. That puts her right back into Task Force X to give us that would be a great solo and a great follow up. Yep. There you go. So that's a way that you can utilize some of these villains to where they work. Because you remember, go ahead. She's 100% at this point.
That she's a big character, so it's
right. 100%.
Weird how that happened, but she's.
But remember where we were looking at this 8 years ago, where it was going to be a Joker Harley movie, but it was going to be so toxic, right? It was going to be so. The concept that they were looking to do was crazy, right? But this way, this works.
Yeah.
Right. But this way works to where you can uplift young women that look up to Harley rather than kind of showcasing all the toxicity that we know Harley and Joker to have.
I like that.
It's more about embracing the independence. Yeah, I'm going to clip that, Joel. That's going to be the clip that I put in our shorts. Is pitching that Harley Quinn idea. See if we can tag James Gunn in and have him. You never know, motherfucker. I can't do it now because then you're going to say I stole it. But you never know. But yeah, so I think we all kind of have a streamline of where we would like to see Batman go, the looks we would like to see him have. We all agree Alfred is needed. We all agree Lucius is needed. We all agree.
Yeah,
Joel, you had Harvey. You had Harvey Bullock in there.
Yeah, I mean we've only got one live action version of Bullock. I'd love to see Harvey Bullock.
And I thought that they was very lazily used. He's a lazy individual, but they use him very lazy.
Yeah.
So for me, I would like to see it used properly.
Wow.
And you know, I really do think if you can master this Batman universe, it really shapes you out in a really good way going forward for a lot of other things. Because if you can build on the fantastical elements of Batman, it should give people a lot of faith on Green Lantern, Flash, whatever else you do going forward, because you've nailed Batman. So it's like if you can make the fantastical of Batman look good, a guy running fast should be a breeze, right? Like that shouldn't be such a hard concept to kind of work through. So James, we just told you how you could shape it. Like we told you how you could shape this shit.
We gave you ideas, what we want to see, what we'd like to see. We just separate it from Matt Reeves' Batman that we know is not being touched and not being integrated. So this Batman will be more like the comic book or like the animated series, something we recognize, but also different from what we're, parallel to what we're also getting on somewhere else.
Yep. And the last thing I'll say here is one thing I definitely need. Matt Reeves is starting to do it. At the end of the day, it kind of still has the elements of yesterday. this Batman has to create a narrative of its own, because it kind of does feel like the Batmans of yesterday do kind of blend, right? To where they don't necessarily feel disjointed. They just have different faces. You know what I'm saying? Set the bar high for this Batman. So 20, 30 years down the line, when they're doing another Batman, this is the bar, right? So people don't look at fantastical Batman as bullshit, can't pull it off, can't do it. They look at that as the gold standard of what to utilize going forward. I think we've played out grounded. So that's why Matt Reeves doing it right now is perfect, because now we can get something else that is not that. Because it is just played out for me. It really is.
I want Tower of Babel Batman.
Oh, talk your shit, Joel. Talk your shit, Joel. Talk your shit.
I don't want him recruiting the Justice League. I want him to literally not touch anybody.
Wait, Ditch. You have no idea how much that bothered Joel. I'm sorry. He's doing what? The guy that doesn't trust anybody, you think should recruit? Is this what we're doing? What?
I was like, what? The same guy that has a backup plan for every single one of them, just in case they go rogue. Is that what I mean? I guess that was the plan, but
I guess that in a way it makes sense though. If you're doing all your research to recruit them, you're researching that as well. So they could have played it well, but
I do prefer the Bruce Wayne / Batman that just does not trust anybody enough to be the guy that makes the posters, brings the juice boxes. No, I don't want that. And then he was making weird jokes. There was so much about that Batman that was perfect and then very weird. Very weird. You know what I'm saying? I don't like you. What the fuck? What was that? Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I want this Batman to be the animated series Batman's I guess we're a team. Is you just give me a call if you need me. I'm not I'm not gonna take pictures of you or whatever.
Yeah, we're not friends, but when the world needs help, I'm there. That's the only time you call.
It takes time for them to call on him. Right. It's one of those things. He doesn't like help from anyone other than
exactly. Right. Yeah. But all right. So as you guys see, we have an extreme love for Batman. We only want what's best for him. And it's just time to be different. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying.
We have two of them running around. You got to be
different. You have to.
Right. And you guys know when they green light that Joker 3, they're gonna find a way to put some kind of Batman in that shit. It's the only missing ingredient. You now got Harley in this one. What do you do for the third one? You got to go higher, and that's only Batman. You don't need a second one, but we got it. So I have no faith. I have no faith that this will stop anytime soon.
I don't need Batman in a Joker movie.
Oh, you wait till you get Matt Damon as Batman.
That's different. Joker definitely don't need it.
But yes, guys, as we said before, please make sure you are liking, commenting, and subscribing. Leave your thoughts down below. Let us know what of our ideas you liked, you disliked, what you would change, what you would do a little bit different. Share your thoughts down below, guys. Let us know what you think of this. But we hope you like our new series, Shaping the DCU. This is our Batman episode. Stay tuned for our Superman episode coming later on. We appreciate you guys. But until next time, peace.